You finally pull the trigger on hormone replacement therapy. They mail you a little box with a kit inside. You prick your finger, you bleed on a piece of paper, you drop it back into the mailbox, and a week later, someone calls to tell you your testosterone is at 300. Now, how convenient was that? Well, it'd be a lot more convenient if it wasn't bullshit. Here's how this works. You go online, you find one of these telemedicine hormone clinics, they send you a home blood test kit, you do the finger prick thing, you mail it back, and a few days later, some doctor you've never met is prescribing you testosterone based on those numbers. Now, I really need you to follow the logic here. They're making life-changing medical decisions about your hormones off of a blood sample you collected by yourself in your own bathroom. Now, if you're still asking yourself, what's the big deal? Then let me continue. 2023, the British Medical Journal, one of the most respected medical publications in the entire world, ran a story about home hormone tests. The headline, unreliable private online hormone tests sold for months despite accuracy concerns. And all this happened because a lab in the UK was processing these at-home finger prick kits and realized the results were just wrong. And there are hundreds of stories and data discussing wildly inaccurate results, just like that one. A 2025 study tested whether blood from a finger prick gives the same results as blood drawn from your arm at a real lab. And it doesn't. They found out that the little gel inside those home collection tubes, the stuff that's supposed to help separate your blood, it actually pulls hormones out of the sample. Your testosterone and estrogen numbers can come back lower than what they really are. Not a little lower, a lot lower. And it happens almost every single time. Then there's the failure rate. 2 out of 5 people who use these home kits won't get a result at all. The lab rejects the sample because there's not enough blood, or it clotted, or it got damaged in shipping. For a real blood draw at Quest or LabCorp, that happens less than 1 in 50 people. Now, I sense some of you are still out there saying to yourself, why would that happen? I mean, blood is blood, right? Wrong. When you prick your finger and the blood doesn't flow, you squeeze it, you milk it, you mash the tip of your finger to get enough drops onto the paper or into the tube. And when you do that, you're busting open your own blood cells. It's called interstitial fluid. It's the fluid that surrounds your cells. So think of it as the puddle your cells sit in. When you squeeze the hell out of your fingertip to get blood, you're forcing that fluid out through your tissues and into the sample. And since hormone tests measure concentration in nanograms per deciliter, adding fluid dilutes your blood like adding water to orange juice. The total volume goes up, but the actual blood cells and dissolved hormones stay the same per unit. This makes your numbers read artificially low. That's on top of ruptured red blood cells, which dump their contents into the sample and, depending on how hard you're pressing, can create falsely high readings. So 2 different problems from the same bad collection method. One dilutes you down, the other spikes you up. Both give you garbage. And this isn't a weird one-off. This is what happens when a regular person does this at-home test. So why is this such a problem? I mean, aside from the obvious issue of your results being absurdly incorrect to begin with, let's look at a hypothetical situation. A guy goes online, finds a testosterone clinic, they mail him a kit, he pricks his finger, milks it, gets a few drops in the tube, and 3 days later, his results show testosterone at 900 and his estrogen at 25. Decent numbers, right? But that same guy walks into LabCorp or Quest 3 weeks later, venous draw, same time of day, his testosterone shows up at 350 and his estradiol is at 60. One of these things is not like the other. The question becomes, which one do you base a treatment protocol on? Because if you base it on the finger prick, you don't need hormone therapy to begin with. But now let's go the opposite way. Let's say the home kit ran your numbers low instead of high. Your test numbers could actually be at 900, but your home kit shows 350. You get put on an HRT program, and in a few weeks, your testosterone levels have actually dropped because your body stops producing testosterone when you start injecting it. And the amount you're injecting is less testosterone than your body was producing on its own before you started. I mean, forget that in this scenario, your problem wasn't hormone related to begin with. But congratulations, now you've got 2 problems. None of this is theoretical. In fact, at my clinic, Viking, we started handing out these home test kits for a brief period of time until we realized how unreliable they were. And that was a few years ago. Of course, we'd rather make things more convenient for you. And we all know going to a lab, sitting in a waiting room until it's your turn and then getting your blood drawn, that's a hassle. A home kit would be far easier and less time consuming. But if we did that, we might as well just guess your numbers and save the cost of postage. I'll give you one final example. There's a Reddit post from November 2025 that's since become legendary in TRT circles. The guy used Hone Health's finger prick kit. His result? Photo finish perfect. He then walked into LabCorp for a real draw. The difference was so dramatic, he titled his post, Hone Health Testosterone Failure. Must read. And he documented every number. So that brings us to the question of why do clinics use these home collection kits at all then? It's clearly not because they're better. It's because they're cheaper and easier. A finger prick kit costs them pennies. No phlebotomist, no lab partner contract, no quality control. You mail it out, get results back electronically. You write a prescription. It's a volume game. It's also convenient. I mean, I'll give them that. Patient doesn't have to leave their house. Prick mail done. Convenience sells. But you're not buying convenience. You're buying medical accuracy for something you're going to inject into your body twice a week for the rest of your life. The margin for error here is zero. And not to keep harping on this, but think about what happens to your blood after you drop it in the mail. It sits in a truck, maybe 100 degrees in Phoenix, maybe freezing in Chicago, hours, sometimes days before it even gets opened at a lab. Your blood's a living thing. Heat destroys it, cold destroys it. By the time it gets tested, who knows what you're actually measuring? If you're going to do hormone replacement therapy, if you're going to inject testosterone, manage your estradiol, adjust your protocol, you need accurate labs, period. Go to a real lab, LabCorp, Quest, a hospital, sit in the chair, let the phlebotomist do their thing. 5 minutes, one stick, done. When they draw blood from your arm, they get a clean sample. No squeezing, no gel pulling your hormone numbers down. It goes straight into the right tube, handled by a person who does this all day. And it gets processed in hours, not days. And it doesn't sit in the back of a mail truck. And that's how you get numbers you can actually trust. That said, any clinic recommending they mail you out a home blood test kit, hang up, like before they even finish their sentence. They're prescribing protocols based on fiction. And if a clinic is willing to do that, ask yourself one question. What else are they willing to cut corners on? Viking alternative medicine. Real numbers, real protocols, real results. Because getting old is inevitable, but making life-changing modifications to your body based upon bogus data, I think we're both going to have to agree to the fact that that's just stupid.